Hello guys, and welcome to my review of Bang & Olufsen's H9i, which is a refinement to the H9 series, and also they have released a H8i, which is a refinement to the H8 series that I have reviewed on my channel. The first category we're going to cover is the price, and at the time of this review you can pick these up for $499 US. Let's give you a brief coverage of the box here. Let's move this to the side. In front of the box we have the picture of the headphones. It's very clean, very nice. The side here is another angle. On the back here, some more detail. You can pause the video. Alright, now inside the box, the headphones will come nestled like so. You raise this up here, and as the Bang & Olufsen's tradition, you would see these nice little compartments. In this compartment here, you have the soft pouch, which looks like so. I am pretty disappointed with that in terms of being provided for storage and protection for a $500 headphone. I mean, you could provide a case, Bang & Olufsen, but hey, over here you would get the warranty documentation, quick start guide, stuff like that. And over here I believe will be your cable, and you get a USB-C, which is great that these do support USB-C. And you get your 3.5 millimeters or 3.5 millimeter cable. However, this does not have a inline control microphone. All right, moving over to the design language of the H9i's, and fundamentally, these are pretty gorgeous headphones in my opinion. You have aluminum here on the side capsules, as well as the Bang & Olufsen's logo. Essentially, it has not changed in terms of the first iteration of the H6, I believe. The design language has been fundamentally pretty similar, moving up to the H7s, then the H8, then the H9s. Bang & Olufsen has not really changed the design language, and I can't blame them. If it's not broken, don't fix it. The swivel is very, very smooth. Adjustment of the headband as well is smooth. There's no weird sounds that's going to indicate that something is going to break soon. The headband is constructed of cowhide leather, I believe. It's firm. It's very nicely stitched, smells really good. And the ear pads, as usual, is constructed of a lambskin leather, which is very soft to the ears. Ear pads are removable, which will allow you to change them if they're damaged, if they're worn out. So it gives you that level of versatility. So you can see the speakers are exposed and they are angled, which gives you a improved stereo image because of the way the sound waves reflect against your ears. Okay, and as well, the left ear cup, the ear capsule piece can be removed, which exposes the battery. Previously, the H9 and the H8 would remove the battery from a latch system on the bottom here, but with the H9i, the battery is removed from the left ear capsule, and with the H8i, the battery is non-removable, but it is a larger battery, which gives you prolonged battery life in comparison to the H9i. So it's a trade-off between removable battery or a fixed, bigger battery. On the right ear cup, you have your controls. This is for turning the headphones on, and this here will put it into pair mode when you press and hold it up there. It's pretty intuitive. Over here you have the USB-C input to charge the headphones, as well as provide USB audio if you plug them into a Android device or a iOS device. I believe you have to have the camera connection kit, or if you plug it into a Windows or Mac operating system, laptop, desktop, PC, however you want to call it. And you have your traditional 3.5 millimeter input in the case that the headphones are completely dead, or if you just want a passive audio experience, plug these right in. Thankfully, unlike the Bowers & Wilkins PX, These do not need to be powered to utilize the 3.5mm jack. You can just use these as a passive headphone. Other than that, the design, these are, like I said, very gorgeous headphones, and I just love looking at them. Moving over to the comfort, thankfully, because of the lambskin leather ear pads, these are very comfortable headphones. I have really no complaints at all with the comfort. These pretty much rest on your ears like pillows, and even though they're pretty hefty in terms of their weight, because of the materials chosen, they don't really weigh on the top of my head, similar to how the Bowers & Wilkins PX does after some time. These are fairly light, easygoing headphones to put on. You can really just get into your music without any discomfort issues. The headband at the top is pretty nicely designed in terms of alleviating and spreading out the weight onto the surface area in the top of your head. So all in all, the comfort on these is pretty good. Feature-wise, these are pretty jam-packed and a significant improvement over the previous predecessor, which was the H9. These now have a very useful feature that I've come to love with a lot of modern-day wireless headphones, and that's the ambient sound feature, but Bang & Olufsen calls it the transparency mode. Basically, with the right ear cup with the touch sensitive surface here, you would swipe up when the headphones are active, and it will pause the music and then reverse the microphones that are responsible for the active noise canceling and allow you to hear what's around you. It's a very natural sound, actually, in terms of how you hear your ambient. It doesn't sound robotic. It sounds very natural, and you can quickly hear what someone's telling you. You can quickly hear that announcement if you're waiting for, your train to arrive. If you're at the airport, you can be able to hear your ambient sounds. And you simply just swipe back up to disable it, and it will automatically resume playing your music. It's very smooth and seamless in the way that operates. Other features that we've come to love about the Bang & Olufsen's headphones is the touch-sensitive control panel, which is not, of course, unique to their headphones, but it's a very useful feature. I feel that it's better than button controls. For me, I feel like I can quickly swipe somewhere or swipe to get to what I want to do quicker than trying to fiddle for buttons at times. Some people may prefer the other. Hey, it's up to you. But just like that, you basically rotate the side clockwise to raise the volume, and then you do counterclockwise to reduce the volume. You swipe forward to skip forward a track. You swipe backwards to skip backwards a track. You tap once to pause, and you tap once again to play. You double tap to redial the last caller. It's a pretty nice system in terms of how it works. Other features that this headphone also has is with the app. You're able to download the app companion for this device here, and it'll allow you to adjust the tonal controls to better suit your listening preferences, as well as adjust the spatial imaging. To me, I found the spatial imaging controls adjustment a bit too artificial for my taste. It does not sound natural at all in terms of trying to give you a full soundstage. However, the tonal controls can help, and I'll get more into that later. Other things in the app that you're able to do is update the firmware so you can get the latest features and better stability and stuff like that. The active noise canceling has been improved over the H9. I do feel that it blocks out significantly more noise than I last remembered the H9 blocking out. Another thing is that they've also included 2 more microphones for voice feedback when you're during a call. And as a result, the call quality in this is excellent. I'll get more into that later. And another thing is they've added a bass port into the ear cups to help improve the bass performance. So in terms of the features, especially this over the H9, that's about it. If I have not covered anything else, just let me know, or I'll try to include that in the comments below. Moving over to the battery life, and the battery life for these are pretty decent. Gets you about 18 hours, which is an improvement over the previous H9. I believe the previous H9 had 14 hours, so you get about 4 more hours of battery life. And this is with Bluetooth and active noise cancellation activated simultaneously. If you do activate them independently, where you're just using Bluetooth without active noise canceling, I do believe the battery life can go up to about 22 hours or more. So overall, the battery life on these is pretty decent. And good thing, like I said before, is that when the battery does die, you can simply just plug them right in to the 3.5mm jack and just pretty much use them as normal headphones. Also, you can charge them while using them as a Bluetooth headphone and use it that way, or you can plug them into a computer or your smartphone and utilize USB audio, which will simultaneously charge the headphone and pipe the audio through the USB-C interface. So you have various ways of utilizing the headphones in the event that the battery does die. Now onto the Bluetooth connection and codec support. With the codec support, I'm disappointed with Bang & Olufsen. Rather, I'm ashamed. And it's because with the predecessor, the H9, the support for Bluetooth codecs was SBC, AAC, and aptX low latency. aptX low latency is a very good addition for those who want to utilize the headset in gaming situations, as well as wanting the least amount of lag when watching videos. With the H9i, there's only support for SBC and AAC. And for Bang & Olufsen to call this product their most luxurious headphones, why are there headphones such as the Sony WH1000Xm3, which is about nearly $200 less than these headphones, and those have far more codecs supported? You have SBC, AAC, aptX, aptX HD, and Sony's proprietary LDAC, which is supported in Android Oreo devices if those devices are licensed to use that codec. This $500 headphone only has support for 2 codecs. This is something that's expected for Bose headphones, which also do the same thing. And I feel like they're kind of catering to the iOS users who have limited support for advanced Bluetooth audio codecs. And I find that very disrespectful for the end users. And I just had to have let it be known in the review. And be honest with you guys, I really do not condone that. I believe something like this, of this caliber, should have support for all of the Bluetooth codecs to cater to all the users, especially aptX, which offers more bandwidth transmission and true high bit rate audio performance over Bluetooth, as opposed to AAC, which is limited to a lossy sort of transmission. aptX is still lossy, but the way that algorithm works results in better sound quality. So these headphones are essentially hindered by their codec support. Moving over to the actual Bluetooth connection, and it's rather excellent how strong the signal is on these headphones, especially in areas which is prone to interference, like the middle of the city in Manhattan, and just walk into another room which has walls in between the source and the headphones. These maintain a very strong signal, and I'm very happy with that level of stability in terms of the signal strength. Call quality and sound, we have here, the call quality on this headphone is excellent, thankfully to the dual mics on each ear cups, which provide a very clean transmission of audio to the other person on the line, as well as the ability to hear yourself slightly when you're on a call. The microphones kind of pick up some small ambience in the immediate vicinity, so this allows you to not talk too loud, and you can hear yourself. It gives a more natural kind of dialogue experience. Overall, the call quality on these, like I stated before, it's pretty excellent. Don't really have much complaints. Sound quality. Let's move over to that, which is the most important part of the review, in my opinion. These sound immediately very clear and transparent. There's a lot of detail to be heard with this headphone. Muddled is something I can never associate with the sound quality of the H9i's. Now, let's start off with the bass performance, and these extend very, very well. It really brings out the low bass. It's very taut, it's very detailed, and it's pretty linear in terms of the way it works its way up to the mid bass and the upper bass. Mid bass is pretty neutral. It's not that overemphasized or modest emphasize, which I would kind of prefer. I do prefer a modest boost to the bass, but of course I don't want the bass to overpower the other frequencies. These, on the other hand, have a quite neutral level of presentation to the bass throughout. Upper bass also pretty neutral, and the way it kind of like blends into the mid-range is pretty seamless. Now, detail-wise in the bass, like I stated before, it's pretty clean, very extended, but the bass overall can sound a bit lifeless if you're listening to modern genres like hip hop, EDM, dance music, pop, and stuff like that. The bass on these can sound a bit lifeless, but the bass on these is pretty accurate. Moving over to the mid-range performance, and the mid-range is tonally quite natural. It's clean sounding, it's very transparent. There's a lot of subtle details to be heard. The layering is exceptionally done well because of the transparency and the clarity of the overall sound of these headphones. Mid-range can sound a bit light and doesn't really have much emotion in the vocals, but the mid-range does sound realistic. There is a tendency, which kind of hurts the sound signature overall, to lean towards more of a sibilant nature in the treble. And in this treble, it's very extended. The upper region is quite present. It's a very good dynamic sense to this headphone where it can reach the very upper echelon of the sound spectrum in the upper treble and can reach the very low depths of the sub-bass region and bring that all together and give you a very dynamic sense to your music. But the treble on this headphone, when it's stock and you haven't adjusted it in the app, of course, it leans too much to the bright sort of spectrum area where it does introduce some sibilance to the vocals, which kind of robs the vocals of that sense of natural tonality, makes the vocals sound a bit light. However, this also gives it that immediately clear and transparent sound because of that heightened trebled presence. It can be beneficial to those who prefer that sound signature, but to me, I don't really enjoy it that much. I do enjoy how clear and clean that these headphones sound, but overall, I don't really feel connected to the music that well with this product because of that sound signature. However, when I do edit it in the app, it does help solve that issue, but fundamentally, because of the level of volume that this headphone has to offer, which is pretty mediocre in my opinion, you really don't get that sense of authority and that sense of emotion that really takes hold of your body like the Bowers & Wilkins PX does so easily and gets your toe tapping and your head bobbing. These headphones really don't deliver it that easily. You got to really focus in and try to get connected with the music, even after adjusting the tonal controls, and the overall volume output is quite detrimental. Now, the main killer for me with these headphones is not really the fact that the tonal balance is more skewed to the treble region. It's that the treble, when the active noise cancellation is activated on this headphone, tends to distort. And my Bowers & Wilkins PX do not do this when active noise cancellation is activated, and my Sonys don't do this, and my Bose don't do that as apparently. But with the H9i's, with the active noise canceling enabled, the treble does have distortion characteristics to it. If you listen to the song Sexual Healing by Marvin Gaye, on the right side at the very beginning, it's like a cymbal that's playing. Put these headphones on if you have them, turn the active noise cancellation on, and you could hear the cymbals sort of distorting on the right side of pretty much as soon as the song starts. If you turn the active noise cancellation off and replay the song, you can see that the cymbals sound clean and don't have any distortion properties. Also, this is not limited to that song. Other songs, when the music does get complex, the treble does sort of lose its composure and begins to distort. It's not a complete disaster, but it's audible, and you can very well detect it, especially if you're coming from headphones that do not have this tendency to distort the treble. It does make these quite disappointing overall in the sound if the treble does distort with active noise canceling, which is how you're going to use this headphone when you're outside. You're going to turn the noise canceling on to block out as much noise as possible, and to know the treble does have a tendency to distort does hurt these headphones. Soundstage wise, the soundstage on these is pretty nice, pretty open, which is to be suspected because of the skew and favoritism towards the treble region when you don't edit the tonal controls on the application. So in conclusion, the H9i's are well designed. They look very nice. They have a pretty good list of useful features. Comfort-wise, they're very comfortable. I have no complaints with the comfort, but the main drawbacks for me is the lack of aptX support or even Sony's LDAC support, and as well as the sound having distortion characteristics when the active noise cancellation is activated. If you turn the active noise cancellation off, you are now faced with a tonal balance, which is a bit too skewed to the treble for me. It does kind of rob the music of emotion and that sense of vivid, pretty much that captivating sense that you get with headphones that can really grab you and throw you into the music and really make you feel like you're part of the music. These really kind of lack that sense of characteristic that I love about the Bowers & Wilkins PX in particular. Another thing that is a drawback is the volume output of this headphone is pretty mediocre. It just doesn't really get loud. And when you turn these up to near max or at max volume, they really begin to show distortion. It's like the drivers cannot handle volume. Luckily for me, I don't really listen to volumes that high, but there are some times when you have music that you just want to crank it to 11 for just a short period of time and really rock out. These are not the headphones to do that. They just do not have that level of volume that you're looking for. So overall, I don't think I can really recommend these headphones because of the price tag and the shortcomings that these headphones do have, especially with the distortion, with active noise canceling activated. And I'm going to say it again, it's important because you're using these headphones on the go. They're advertising the active noise cancellation as a stable feature for this product. So you're going to use it when you're out and about. And the fact that the noise cancellation does introduce distortion artifacts in the treble is a very big red flag. And I just have to let it be known in the review. So overall, I can't recommend these headphones, but I did enjoy some properties of it. And I do like this headphone, but Bowers & Wilkins PX is still my favorite wireless headphone by far. And if there's anything in this review that I may have not covered, just please let it be known in the comments and I'll try to answer them to the best of my abilities. Thanks for watching this review of the Bang & Olufsen H9i. Later.